Hey fellas, it's 265 Chevy here. I think it's today's September 9th. So who that day? Saints play tonight on Monday Night Football. So I'm excited about that. But this has been up for a couple of days. Actually, I used it already. I would say it's probably about 98% complete. Probably really close to 99%. Only thing I gotta do is put a couple little things on the drain system so the water will go this way. That's about it. This is the setup. I got a 1 inch. I got to put another one of those right there and put a 1 inch clamp. It's like I got those little clamps on. So I got to put that on there. I went and bought that today. But I already used it. It works. It solved my volume problem. And definitely solved my water. I really never had a water issue problem. But that's how it's looking with that. So it goes up and it goes around. See, it goes up, come around, and then it goes down. This is the line that works my reel. I'll hook up the reel to this. It's pretty much what I'll use every day. This, I designed it that I can cut it off. So this is like 180 bucks for the this whole unit. These two and this is probably about 190, $200 worth when to replace the cartridges. So don't want to replace them before. I was running everything straight through it. Don't really need to do that. So the only time I'm ever going to use my Decadence air dryer and my oil thing and my water separator and my motor guard is just when I do painting, and then that'll come out of here, and I got it designed if I want to use a 1/2 inch for something. I got that right there. But that's pretty much how it works. Comes out of the compressor right there, comes around. This, I remember, that's actually, the way I put it originally, that's the way I did it. And then had a brain for it. Then when I looked at it for the bottom, it says, I'm not going through all that work, tucking it behind here, running it around. I don't know why I didn't do it like this up top. It would have been a lot easier. So this way I did it at the bottom, kind of constraining time, not really losing any space. There's really not too much you can put back there anyway. So it runs around, and this way it comes up. Got a little small drain filter right there. Really no water really will come out of there. It comes up. I probably got about close to 70 feet of pipe. This is the last drain right here. Comes before it makes the loop up, comes over and comes down. A friend of mine that came over said actually I should have put one right here too, but yeah, I can always do that later if I wanted to. Probably gonna leave it. So what I've been doing, been working on my wife's bumper, so to test it out, I primed the bumper again. So this is what I got on the bumper. I primed it again. I block sanded with 320, and then I'm gonna put another guide coat on and block sanded with 600, and should be good to go to paint. But let me tell you my mistakes. So when originally, I think it was like the day after I got that finished. The day that I got it finished, I checked to see if the air gun worked, and it worked properly. So the next day I said, well shoot, let me paint the bumper, let me get that done. Let me get it primed again. And so, I mixed all the paint up. This is what I used, Autobahn. So I mixed it up, 4 to 1. I think that's what it is. Yeah, let me see. I think it's 4 to 1. Yep, 4 to 1. I guess you can see it right there. 4 to 1. And I use the settings of the gravity feed, 25 to 35. Probably put my gun at 29. And it sprayed good. So, mix it a little bit more. Put it up in my thing, which I had some left. And then I waited the 15 minutes for that one to flash over. Then I started spraying the other one. And it started off fine. Everything worked great. Then all of a sudden I started seeing kind of like spraying dry. It's like, what the hell is going on now? Everything was spraying good. Well, if I finished spraying the bumper, which gave it a lot of orange peel. So my plan was, to be honest with you fellas, I was just going to spray the bumper, run it over with 600, paint it and clear it. That's it. But since it had such a texture to it because of the dry spray, I had to do it in 320. So I'm doing an extra step. And it's because user error. And man, when I opened up the gun, it already started to dry in the gun. Well, here it is. Autobahn Fast Primer Activator. The day that I did it probably was 100 degrees. 97, 98 humidity. I guess when I bought all the materials, how I work, how all my projects go, my projects don't go exactly when I buy the stuff to do. Usually a few months later or whatever, but apparently when I bought this stuff, it must have been cool or cold or whatever. So that's what they gave me to use with the primer. Well, I didn't read it. It says user error, so it started activating in the gun. And this is the paint I'm going to use. This is a Wanda. It's the color of my wife's called Colt Sandstone. But with a medium, I might have to go with a slow because it's still 96 and 97. So it was user error. So that's the reason why I'm pretty sure why it starts drying, spraying drier out the gun, because the material started to activate. So gave me more work, but I'm getting my practice sanding, because when you want to paint stuff and do stuff, it's a lot of sanding. So you kind of get used to it. But this is my air setup now, and I'm pretty pleased with it. To be honest with another thing, I charged it up, put it up to about 150 psi. It held for 24 hours, but it did drop 10 pounds within that time. So I do have a small, and I think it's coming from one of these connectors. I can't hear anything. I got to do the little bubble test or whatever. But truthfully fellas, 10 to 15 pounds in 24 hours is no big deal, because if I'm spraying, it's pretty much I built this so I can spray. If I'm spraying, the compressor's big enough, it's got enough volume, it'll overcome that 10 pounds. So truthfully, I really consider it done. When I have some time, I might come look for this, see where this little leak is or whatever. But I'm not really too concerned about it, to be honest with you. But the wall came out good. The wall did exactly what I needed it to do. It held. Everything's pretty tight. Everything's nice and tight on it. Yeah. My soldering came out okay. It's not the prettiest solder job, but it works. So I guess that's what the plumber told me. He goes, if you solder and it don't leak, then hey, it's good enough, good enough for government work. So what I'm going to do the rest of the day, I'm going to wipe that down with some wax and grease remover. And I'm going to shoot it with some, what's this stuff over here? Guide coat, some more guide coat. And I got some 600 wet sandpaper right here. So, and then I'll start sanding it again, and either I'll finish that by tomorrow, or because I'll be quitting about 5:30 tonight to go take a shower and get ready for the game. But this right here is a wheel bearing hub for my wife's 98 Altima. I replaced this thing 2 years ago, and it already went bad. I also replaced 1 year ago a motor mount. Already went bad. So I mean, it's getting to a point, fellas, where you know, if you replace parts and the parts ain't worth the crap that you're replacing, and you got to go back a year, 2 years, maybe even 3 years later to replace the same exact part, I mean, that's ridiculous. This Chinese bullshit is really a major problem. If you're gonna spend, you know, I spent almost 60 bucks for that bearing, and I actually got a deal because I went to a friend that actually owns a mechanic shop. But so it's actually a little bit more. But if you got to do that just to keep your car on the road, I'm starting to think it might be better just to lease and keep a lease going. I don't know, because that's this Chinese bullshit is really, you know, I mean, I don't want to be underneath the car replacing parts that I already replaced. I don't mind replacing parts that were on the car and they broke just because over time they went bad, you know. But you replacing a year, 1 year for a motor mount, my God, you know. This one has a lifetime warranty. So I mean, a lifetime warranty for a motor mount. So you know what that tells me? You know it's going to fail. You know it's going to fail, and you're going to have to redo it. And you know you're not going to, you know, most people don't keep their receipts and stuff, so you're going to get another one. But I'm going to end this video. I got a lot of crap. I got to get that motor back together. Matter of fact, I got to check that out too. I got all my push rods right there. But all right, that's my neighbor's little dog. Y'all have a good day. Later.